This is a production of Cornell University.
So welcome everyone to our second School of Integrative Plant Science graduate degree ceremony. And we're really excited to have this many folks here to help us celebrate today. My name is Chris Smart, and I'm the director of the School of Integrative Plant Science here at Cornell. I am also a scientist, and I actually study diseases of vegetables. The part about I'm a scientist will come back again later. To the students who are graduating today, congratulations! Your passion, your hard work, and your dedication, so well done. To the faculty who are here with us today, you have been amazing mentors and incredible teachers, so thank you to the faculty. Welcome and thank you to all of the family and friends that have supported the students throughout their graduate degree. Getting a graduate degree is a really difficult thing to do. The students know that, the graduates know that, and I'm confident the families know that as well. So thank you for your support. And finally, today we will be celebrating the graduation and the hooding of 5 different graduate fields. And so I think it's very important that we thank our directors of graduate studies, our graduate field assistants, and in particular, Alicia Caswell, who has helped me set everything up today. So thank you. So before we begin to celebrate each graduate individually, this is my opportunity. I have a captive audience, so I get to say a few words. As those students that know me well, I usually start with a sporting announcement, but I'm not going to do that today. I would hope that the students can remember 2 things as you leave Cornell. The first is to use your network, and the second is to use your voice. Now, if any of you went to convocation at 12:30, you will have heard Bill Nye the Science Guy speak about both of these things much more effectively than I will speak about them now. And yet, I persist. So I think the network is something that many students don't think about, and a lot of people don't think about until you really need something. I've had the pleasure of talking with many of you over the last 1 to 6 years, and it has come to my attention that many of you feel as though perhaps you don't deserve to be where you are. I follow many of you on Twitter. Feel free, by the way, to tweet anything out as you like. And I follow students on Twitter from around the world. And a common theme among students getting their master's or PhD is what's called the imposter syndrome. That students feel as though they don't deserve to be getting the degree that they have, and that someone will find out and like, you know, tell the world, oh, they're an imposter, they're not as smart as they say that they are. So this may or may not mean anything to you, but none of you are frauds. Not one of you. You are not imposters. You have been trained by the best faculty in the world in the plant sciences, and you have a network that you can use. You're going to be scared, and all of us are, and all of us have been. There's going to be things that you're thinking, wow, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. But one of the things you can do is email your mentor. Say, hey, did you ever have to deal with this? Can you help me out? And you know what? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, yeah, I dealt with that, and here's what I did, and here's maybe it worked and maybe it didn't. The network that you have is an amazing group of passionate and smart people not just the faculty, but you as a cohort. I think you as a cohort are really important in being a network for each other. And your success is not driven by the success of someone else. The goal is for all of you to be incredibly successful. So don't compare yourselves to one another. Compare your cohort in the success that you have as a member. So, the second thing that I want to talk about is your voice. When I became the director of the School of Integrative Plant Science, I had not had any administrative position before. So I started attending meetings that I wasn't really sure I belonged at. And for a while, this may come as a shock to many of you in the room. I didn't say anything. No, really. And then I realized, and several people told me, you're invited to a meeting for a reason. People don't just invite you to a meeting to see you sitting there looking fabulous. People invite you to a meeting for a reason. It's because you have a unique skill set that can add something to that group. And you need to remember that your voice is as important to all of the people in that group. Whether it's a group of educators, or a group of academics, or a group of policymakers, or a group from industry that you're interacting with. Your voice at that table is critical. Please don't forget to use it. And another place where I think your voice is equally critical is when you're talking to your friends and family and to the public. Many of you know that I'm extremely passionate about public engagement and engaging the public in science. And I've noticed that when friends and colleagues will be in a social gathering, someone will ask, "Oh, what do you do?" And a really common response is, "Oh, I work with plants," or "I'm a professor," or I work at Cornell. But it's almost never, "I am a scientist." But you guys are all scientists. That's a really great thing to tell people. When you're at a party, "Oh, you just graduated, what do you do?" "I'm a scientist and I study this." Because in 2018, a survey was done of 100,000 Americans. And of that 100,000 Americans, 81% could name a living scientist. Oh, could not name a living scientist. Sorry, I'm not smart. So only 19% of that 100,000 people could name a scientist. But far more than 19% of our population goes to college. So certainly, all of those people, many of those people had met a scientist, but they just don't associate us as being scientists. And I think that we need to enable people to understand why we study science, why it's important, and how it affects their lives. Because as we know, there are really, really serious problems that you guys are going to have to be working with. And you're going to need to use your network and your voice to help us solve these problems. And I hope that you will. So, those are my two things. All right, now, on to the recognition. I'm going to explain how this will work. So, does this work? Yes, okay. Academic regalia, I have done some research over the last several years on academic regalia. And academic regalia goes back to the earliest universities in Europe. And depending on the source, that when people left the university, they would wear their academic regalia. And there is some lore that when they were in town, those people might get more respect because people knew they were professors at a university. And I actually read from a colleague in the UK saying that there is a law that if people wore their academic regalia in town into a bar, they might get a free pint of beer. It's been my experience. Well, I haven't actually tried, but my guess is that wouldn't happen here. So the academic regalia comes in different colors. Mine is green because I graduated from Michigan State University. And go green. The number of stripes or chevrons on the sleeve indicate your degree. So PhDs will have 3 chevrons and masters will have 2. The color of the hood also depends on the university that you went to. The traditional color for PhD is royal blue. And you'll see that the majority of faculty have hoods that are royal blue. At Michigan State University, the color of the velvet on the hood actually indicates the college within the university from which you graduated. So I graduated from the College of Agriculture, and so my hood is maize. And then if you look on the inside of the hood, the colors on the inside of the hood indicate the colors of the university. So hopefully, all of the graduates are red and white, because Cornell's colors are red and white. Michigan State's colors are green and white, and so mine will be green and white. And as you see other faculty that are wearing their regalia from their university, you might see many different colors. And this also varies depending on the country that you're from. I have learned today from our colleague from Australia. So, what will happen is that we will call up the chair of the section and the director of graduate studies from each of the 5 fields that are graduating today. And we will do that in alphabetical order. Each student, before you come up, you should take your hood off to make it easier on your major professor. The chair, for most of the sections, the chair of the section will be reading off the names, including your name, the title of your dissertation, and your major advisor. Your major advisor, you'll hand your hood to your major advisor. Your major advisor will take the hood, place the hood over your head, indicating the passing of knowledge from one generation to the next. Right? Isn't that very cool? Your name and dissertation will be on the screen behind for an excellent photo op from family members. Feel free to stand up and take pictures. And then you'll be receiving a certificate, and we will be taking pictures that we can get to you as well. Have I covered everything? Probably not, but horticulture will work out the details. Starting us off is the graduate field of horticulture. The chair of the section, Steve Reiners, will be reading the names, and the director of graduate studies, Bill Miller, will be handing out certificates.
Thank you very much, Chris. It's a pleasure to be presenting degrees to the field of horticulture graduates. And we're going to start with Bailey Hopkins-Hensley. She is advised by Conway Carroll.
We're working out the details. Actually, would it be easier if I just kept it quicker?
That might be.
All right.
So Bailey is getting her MPS in agriculture Sciences. Her project is creating a more diverse, equitable, and inclusive garden. Getting an MPS in Agriculture and Life Sciences. Her action project, creating a more diverse, equitable, and inclusive garden. Her advisors, Don Rakow and Sonia Scott. Our next graduate is Dylan Kovac. Dylan is getting his master's in horticulture. His thesis is optimizing greenhouse tomato production, responses to supplemental light and incidence of the physiological disorder edema. Dylan's advisor was Dr. Neil Matson. Our next graduate is Haley Rylander. Haley is getting a master's in horticulture. Her thesis topic, the use of black polyethylene tarps to advance reduced tillage system for organic beets. Her advisor, Dr. Anu Rangarajan. Our next graduate, Ali Al-Farkani, PhD in horticulture. Evaluation of roots, architecture, distribution, fruiting, and growth performance of Honeycrisp apple scion grafted on 8 rootstocks in response to soil and solution, pH, using field, aeroponics, and mini rhizotron growing system. His advisor, Dr. Terrence Robinson. Our next graduate is Laura Doherty. Laura's dissertation is Uncovering Genes Controlling Tree Architecture and Fruit Quality in Apple. Her advisor, Dr. Keelan Zhu. Our next graduate is Miles Schwartz-Sachs. Miles is giving me a tongue twister here. Queries and queries. From the development of a tissue culture, clonal propagation system to the evaluation of stress-tolerant hybrid white oaks for urban environment. His advisor, Dr. Nina Bath. Yi Zhang, Master's PhD in horticulture. Yi's dissertation is the non-destructive measurement of apple fruit quality by using near-infrared spectroscopy. Her advisor is Dr. Chris Watkins.
Do you want to introduce the next one?
I certainly can. So the next field will be the field of plant biology, and Dr. Klaus Van Wyck, the chair, and Dr. Michael Scanlon.
Okay, so as my pleasure to introduce the graduate students for the field of plant biology. And the first one is Yusik Choi. Yusik. No, Yusik. Yusik has a PhD with Eric Richards and on Arabidopsis nucleolamina protein. They're involved in plant defense and development. Okay, so then the next student is Ray Yao, or Ray. Ray. I know Ray very well, which is usually in my lab. Student is Penelope Lindsay. So Penelope did a PhD in the lab of Maria Harrison, right here, on the characterization and of transcription on developmental regulators of vascular mycorrhizal symbiosis in the Legio militaris nuclearis. Is Michael, right here. So Penny Fay did this PhD on pattern recognition in developing maize leaf epidermis, gene network analysis, and machine learning approaches. Then the last, but not least, Min Jung in the lab of Adrian Röder, who's right here. So Min Young did his PhD on his dissertation on timing. It's critical to plant coordinate size regulation. Congratulations. These were the 5 students of plant biology.
Hi, I'm Jeff Cohen, Chair of Plant Breeding and Genetics, and Michael Mazur is the Director of Graduate Studies with Plant Breeding. So we have a number of people seeking their degrees. The first is Matteo Spaseggio, who worked with Mike Moore, and he did a dissertation titled Genetic Basis of Vitamin and Mineral Levels in Fresh Sweet Corn Kernels. Okay, next is Christopher Hernandez, who works with Michael Mazur, and his dissertation titled Genetics, Genomics, and Prediction of Winter Squash Fruit Quality. Paula Duragava did her PhD in plant breeding with Dr. Mike Gore. Her dissertation title, Translating Cassava Trait Preferences in Ugandan Smallholder Farmers to Breeding Targets. Paula. Did her PhD in plant breeding with Dr. Mark Sorrells and Dr. Michael Gore. Her dissertation title, Integrating High. Didn't get to read the whole thesis title, but okay. Next is Dhyanaswaran Palmachami, PhD with Dr. Margaret Smith. His title is Genetics of Multiple Disease Resistance in Maize Inbred and Science Communication and Quantitative Genetics. PhD with Dr. Rebecca Nelson. Dissertation title was Micro and Macro Views of Maize, Cetosperia, Tercina, Apiosystem. Dee Wu did her PhD with Dr. Mike Gore. Her title was Genomic Analysis of Population Structure in Common Bean Land Races and Quantitative Genetic Analysis of Nutritional Quality in Maize Grain.
And Jason Park, who did his completed his PhD with Walter D.
The graduate field of plant pathology and plant microbiology. Gary Berkeley is chair, and Dr. Adam Bogdanov is the
Adam is actually attending his own son's graduation today, so Dr. Smart is filling in that role today. So our first recipient here, Mariko Alexander, receiving her PhD, a student with Dr. Michelle Pack, and her dissertation is searching for the missing links, connecting polarivirus structural biology to function. student with Mark Fuchs, getting her PhD. Her dissertation is the ecology of grapevine red blotch disease. Michael Fulcher, a PhD in my laboratory. Michael's dissertation is Fusarium graminearum at the intersection of wheat and wild grass communities. PhD with Dr. Sarah Pethy-Bridge. Adrian's thesis was quantifying disease risk for the northern root knot nematode, Paloidogyne hapla, in potato in New York State.
Come on, guys.
Lori Koenig, PhD. With Lori's not here. Okay, well, I'm going to read it anyway. Yeah, PhD with Dr. Sarah Pethy-Bridge, population biology of Phoma beati, and management strategies for Phoma leaf spot of table beet in New York. Angela Cruz with Dr. Michelle Hack, a roadmap to control Wan Bing, tissue-specific molecular analysis of the vector-pathogen interface. Carolina Maza Molina with Dr. Greg Martin. The thesis dissertation topic, molecular characterization of bacterial speck disease resistance from S. lipopersicoides against race 1 strains of Pseudomonas syringae pathovar tomato.
I'm also on her. Yeah.
Larissa Osterban, a student with Mark Fuchs, her PhD dissertation, characterization of symptom development, of symptom determinant of grapevine fan leaf virus by reverse genetics and proteomics. Sarah Ruark, Dr. Stuart Gray, PhD, Molecular Epidemiology and Host Range Potato Virus Y. Chair of Soil Crop Science, and Alina Batmania, DGS.
And I would like to invite Sabina Gerich. She completed her master's degree in with Miller's Institute. And the dissertation title is Water Trapping Dynamics in Carbohydrate Populated Smectite Intralayer Monospores.
Oh, wait, there's more.
Presentation title is Electrons, X-rays, and Soil Odors. Proving soil organomineral interactions with across scale analytical methods. Completed his PhD at Stanford, and his dissertation title is Infrared Spectroscopy for Soil Carbon Accounting and Soil Quality Assessment.
Okay, so that concludes our graduates and the individual recognition. I thought I would explain a bit what happens next. First of all, Alicia has cookies and cold water right outside the door, so please do that. For those of you that will be going to the official university hooding ceremony, that begins at 5 p.m. Just block away at Barton Hall. I always want to say Barton Lab because it's Barton Hall. I think the students and the faculty are to line up at 4:30, so we have plenty of time. And I should just say that the event there is, you'll see, very different from the event here. We like the relaxed atmosphere where the faculty are very engaged here. There you'll be hooded by the Dean of the Graduate School, Barbara Newth, and about probably 100 to 150 graduating PhDs walk across the stage in about an hour, so it goes very quickly. But I hope you can join us there. And tomorrow, after the ceremony in Sholkoff Stadium, for those of you who will be going, all of the undergraduates in the agricultural sciences major, the plant sciences major, and all of our graduate degree recipients today are invited to a free lunch for you and your entire family at the Trillium, which is right next door. We'll have sandwiches and things for you to eat because it's probably going to be a little warm, and I'm guessing you'll want some lemonade and a sandwich. So let's again congratulate all the graduates.
has been a production of Cornell University, on the web at cornell.edu.